no pain. Be gone. Inevitable. Swift step. Be gone. I will bathe this world in blood. Impressive, but futile. Be gone! You will know pain! Switch up! Be gone! Inevitable! Switch step! Be gone! Switch step! You will know pain! Be gone! Switch step! Inevitable! Die. You know this.
Hi, this is Baya here, and this is almost close to the end of the Ruthless journey. I know one of the main objectives I had for this build was to actually do T17s. It doesn't really do all of them. There's some mods that are just like a bit harder than average. And also this build really isn't optimized per se. There are some avenues for damage that I haven't really pursued yet. Like for example, corruptions on the gloves. I don't have that at the moment. The average cost of the glove is high enough that I probably wouldn't want to attempt it. But if I ever want to do push this, I will double corrupt a bunch of these gloves. It require me to pretty much empty out the market first, because I don't want people to like start charging like ridiculous amounts of this. That estimated cost is probably around like 1,000 alks just to get a double corruption on this. But if I do get even if I get a single corruption that works, okay, that will be a 20% more damage. If I get a double corruption, there will be a 40% more damage. So the damage just spikes up insanely. Okay, when it comes to like another damage scaler, the other is actually the amulet. So I will have to find a way to get defenses elsewhere, so get block elsewhere. But the next scale up for this is either Ashes of the Stars or Replica Dragon's Fang, either of which are extremely hard to find in Ruthless and probably unattainable. So I probably will not. I mean, the trade-off is also not so ideal. The damage increase is about 30% more. It's a lot less. It's less than the gloves. Okay, there's less potential for upside on the gloves, and the gloves has no trade-off, right? Because you're getting a implicit on this. It replaces spell damage, which is like 2% more damage, or 1% more damage. It doesn't really do anything. Whereas here you do get 30% more damage, but you sacrifice a lot of things. So you sacrifice a lot of block, you sacrifice a lot of recovery on hit block, you sacrifice armor. And in general, because of that, I think the play will be to just upgrade this first and then go for this if I really want to scale damage like crazy. But at the moment, currently, this build probably has about... Okay, on the clear setup, it's 14-15 mil DPS. And on a single target setup, it's like 17-18. What I mean by that is because right now, I've deallocated Ancestral Bond, and I'm using Legacy of Fury for clear, right? Otherwise, the clear is kind of like meh. It's pretty low. I've also swapped this out for Concentrated Effect because I just want to test the overlaps on the projectiles. Anyway, let me just talk about the updates of the gear and the items and where I'm at with the pathing on this build and how I feel about this build. So, all in all, I spent a whole bunch more currency, but then again, I've made so much currency that I don't think it matters too much. So in total, I've generated probably about 6,000 elks worth of currency. And 6,000 elks, to put into perspective, it's about 200 divines, I think. because each divine here is about 20 something to 30 elks, and so you can consider this like almost 200 divines worth of profit so far, or rather currency generated. But the build itself is quite cheap. The build itself isn't relatively expensive. The only true expensive things here are the darks here. Oh well, the jewels. Okay, the jewels are expensive, but the darks here is expensive. This is 550 elks. The Svalin is like 170 elks. So these are the two main costs. The rest are like relatively cheap. This is like less than 30. This is less than 50. This is like 3 elks or something. This is less than 100. This is 50. This is 10. This is 3. And this is like, I think it was free. It's the same one I started with. But you can consider this 10 or 20. So with all that, let me talk about how the damage scales for Flamewood Totems. As I covered previously in the Chieftain League, on League where I did Chieftain on Affliction, Flamewood Totem scales in a very straightforward manner. It scales with number of projectiles, it scales with number of totem count, and it scales with gem levels. These are the 3 things that scale Flamewood Totem the most. Okay, Black Zenith gives you 2 of them. Okay, it gives you 2 of them in spades. Wait, not. Okay, wait. It gives you 2. It gives you 2 multipliers. Okay, it gives you additional projectiles and more damage. Right, it doesn't give you like gem levels or totems. Where you get totems from is you get multi-totem support. You get totems from Hierophant. Hierophant gets additional 1 totem, and if you add this, is an additional 1 totem. So you get 5 totems total. You can also go for a Shaper Shield with totem count, but in this case, because Valen is so strong this league, it kind of doesn't make sense to go for Shaper Shield. Shaper Shield, I would think, only makes sense if you want to go for something like a Shockwave totem build, and you can like one-shot stuff off screen. Then yeah, you don't really need defenses. So, but in this case, Valen is like extremely strong here, and I'll show you why. And yeah, so multiple totems and Flamewood support. I don't have this quality. I should actually, because it gives me 10% more increased life. I should also try to double corrupt it for 21, but for now this will be this is great as it is. I managed to double corrupt this. Okay, I actually prepared 2. I had one 2020, and then I also bought another 2020 for about 25 elks, and then I brought into the corruption chamber, not corruption chamber, Doriani's, and or rather tempo, and the first one hit it. First one got Rejuve Totem with +1 levels. Alright, so I didn't really have to do much. I just locked out and got this. But yeah, generally Vow Rejuvenation Totem does an alternate damage, so it does have Flamewood as well, and it has a lot more life, and you can just drop it. 21-23 is also just about as good, I feel, but I think Vow Rejuve is probably the best. So yeah, this is great. And yeah, Conquer Fate is something I'm just testing. I had like, I think Combustion, level 20 Combustion here, but I really wanted to try Concentrate Effect to see if the overlaps are better with this. Rest of the gem builds are pretty straightforward. Searing Bond and multiple totems is just to have extra totem count. So let's say I can have like 4 normal 4 Rejuve totems and 2 Searing Bonds, and if I get Searing Bond to 20% quality, right now it's if it's now 10%, but if I get it 20%, additional 1 more, so I have additional +1. If I get Ashes of the Stars, it's +3, so that's +3 more, and each additional totem is 3% more damage. Right, so that's 9. This is 9 damage for Searing Bonds. It's just a little clunky though, because you have to constantly summon them, and then you have to summon your normal totems. Okay, so that's the only downside to this, but very happy to have this here. I think it's a good damage bonus. Righteous Fire, unfortunately, haven't actually got a way that sustain it comfortably, and so I've left it out at the moment. It's just like I'll show you like. Okay, what I mean by sustainably or comfortably is that I want to have like a lot of net regen. Right now, it's not enough for me to feel happy about this. You see degenning. Well, it's not really degenning life, but it is degenning mana, which is not something I'm happy with. But it's great. I mean, it deals 40% more damage. It's just a matter of like probably need better flasks. That's the issue right now. I don't have better flasks at the moment. Yeah, so that's the reason why I've kind of left it out of this discussion, but you can consider it in damage if you want. I don't try to. I mean, I feel like the damage is good enough without it, so I don't bother too much. So yeah, so that's the links for this. Links for this is Clarity with Arrogance. This is for Watcher's Eye. I'll show you what the Watcher's Eye mods are later. Flammability, faster casting, just faster casting, just more quality of life. Yeah. I managed to 6-link this in about 350 fusings. I got really lucky, so that's cool. Void Spear, Consecrated Path, Clunk Strike, faster attacks. Faster attacks with Consecrated Path is for mobility, because you have no mobility skills in Ruthless, and this helps a lot. Clunk Strike is for Void Spear, just to cull stuff. Eternal Blessing is with Purity of Elements, just to so it doesn't reserve any mana. Flame Golem, Wave of Conviction, and Purifying Flame of Revelations in the Swalin. Whenever I block, I proc Wave of Conviction, I proc Stone Flame Golem, which gives me increased damage, and then I proc Purifying Flame of Revelations, which gives me Consecrated Ground. Kong Path also gives me Consecrated Ground, so this is really helpful. I think you know there's 4 links for this, so I'm not going to cover it. It's just Rejuve, Concentrate Effect, Flamewood, and Multi-Totem. Down here, Quick Step is for your only other mobility that you get for free. Automation with Steel Skin and more duration. Alright, I've gone for Steel Skin because I don't think Arcane Cloak makes sense here. One, I will want to keep my mana up all the time. I don't really have good Flask. If I had better Flask, maybe I wouldn't mind too much Arcane Cloak, because then I get better recovery. But right now, I think it's better just go Steel Skin. Steel Skin is just, you know, a good defensive layer. Yeah, and it doesn't take up mana, so. Briefly talk about items, I guess. Spalins for block, Anvils for block. All your rares are life and resistances, almost always. Chests, you definitely want physical damage reduction, so that comes in too. Eldritch Implicits, whatever give benefits to your build the most. Belt, Immortal Flesh, great because you overcarry resistances most of the time, and life regen is amazing. Increased armor is amazing, and reduced physical damage from attack hits is really helpful. It's actually sleeper good. Legacy of Fury is for Scorch effect as well as clear. If you want to go pure DPS, you could actually drop Legacy of Fury and go back to the Totem boots. I forgot what the name of it's called. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Polarity Devastation on the left ring slot is for Covered in Ash, so that gives you 20% increased damage taken for your enemies. Really helpful because there are not really many damage scalers in this build, and this is one of them. So yeah, there are remaining ranks is resistances and life. So if you go to look at my stats right now, I'm capped in all res, so lightning is okay. Fire, I should really move it to fire, right? I don't know why I have it in lightning. Anyway, fire, cold, and lightning resistances are at 80 something, not too bad. Chaos resistance is 75. It's capped out because of light and meaning. Block attack and block spell is at 68 both, so that gives me about an 89 to 90% chance to block effective with the lucky block on Svalin. So this is really good defensive layers. And life regen is at 260, not that much, but you know, helps mitigate the damage I take. Mana regen is at 200, not too bad as well. Yeah, so I have a Mind over Matter of 60%, so most of the damage is going to mana instead of life, so I prioritize mana flask instead of life flask. But the life flask is great because just in case you have situations where you really go down low and you need life recovery and you don't want to wait on your regen, you just pop your flask. I should really get this to the low life mod, but you know, I haven't really gotten to it. Let's talk about the passive tree. Pathing has changed a bit because I've optimized it. I've taken away points from this side. I've also taken away these 2 points because I feel like I can get away with less. Anyway, I've taken away these 2 points, all these points here as well before the cluster. I'll show you what the cluster is. So you path here, starting from here, you go up here, get Mind over Matter, get Elemental Overload. Go here, get life, get mana, turn the life into mana because of Healthy Mind, and then get loads of mana from this. Eventually, okay, I'll talk about it later. Anyway, here. So this is how it is, just mana. Down here it's lightning resistance. Think about it this way, okay? When you stack mana in this build, you're actually stacking life, right? Think about it this way, because your life is your mana, right? Because of Mind over Matter. So that's why I have it very close, the values very close together. One, and secondly, it's also probably easier to recover, I think, mana than it's life. I'm not sure. So yeah, so this is generally how it works. You're getting effectively about a 7k EHP or 7k HP pool plus the ES maybe about 8k. Okay, 8k EHP pool, HP pool, and then it gets multiplied by all your other EHP multipliers. So I think right now my EHP is POB says it's one mil, but you know how how accurate POB is. If it's maxed in, unfortunately not that high. It's about like 15. No, about 18k. I wish it could be like 25, but you know, I'll take 18 on Ruthless. It's fine, I guess. The path here, okay, so these give you block as well. So these two give you block. The path here, you get the fire one just to get this. Critical strikes do not ignite, but you get 100% increased damage with hits. That's really good damage. You get the life nodes here. You get the block nodes here, as well as the chance to block spell damage per 5% chance to block attack damage. This takes 15. This gives you quite a bit of block chance. So yeah, for that 1 point. Path up here, get the totem nodes. So totem life, it's all here. And then get 5% of your hits taken from your nearest totem life before you. As I said already, you're already pretty tanky because you have what? Loads of life and mana and and damage taken as life. You also take hit damage as hit damage goes to your totems instead of you. So 10% is from your ascendancy and then 5% from this. So 15% damage reduction effectively. So I'll tell you what, I know we'll just cover this. Alright, go down, well, the pathing down here will be like this through here. This is a good value point because it resists chance to ignite as well as Elirez. Path here, just to get the mana nodes. Path down here, get the block nodes. Path down here, get life nodes. Path down here, get totems. And then you get max res here. I'll cover the cluster last. Path down here, get the socket, mana nodes, iron will, life, mana, socket. Unwavering is important because there's very little ways you can deal with stuns and Ruthless, and so this is like really strong. And then you go here for max res. Let's cover the jewels. This is where the build gets expensive. Okay, so in Ruthless, these items are generally like really bonkers in terms of prices. I'll tell you exactly what the price is or what I paid, but you know, just give a good idea. Okay, the watches eye here was pretty cheap. This was 50 elks. I don't know why, but it's 50 elks. It's perfect rolled on all the three implicits, or not three implicits, the energy shield, mana, and life, which is what you really care about. And the mana taken from damage taken from mana instead of life is 10%, which is max. Yeah, so that's why you have clarity. Light of meaning, really strong, especially the chaos res one, because it really takes a lot of pressure off you. In Ruthless, it's very hard for you to get a proper res from your gear, and chaos res is like the hardest to get. So this is like one of the best lines of meaning you can run. Okay, the problem is this is 1000 elks. Okay, this is literally 1000 elks. The only reason why I got it is I dropped a inspired learning, and it was the only inspired learning in the server. And this guy was selling one of these. These are more common, right? There's like 20 or 30 of them or something. I don't know. But I told him, you know, I'm pretty sure mine's more than 1000, and I would trade that with this because I just want the chaos res, and I don't want to wait till someone actually cares about my inspired learning to get something useful. So I did the trade, and so I have this. It's about maybe 8% less res than putting it here, so that's why I put it here. You get a lot of nodes because you got all the block nodes as well as the mana nodes. Okay, so that's like the meaning. And then down here it's healthy mind. So yeah, I think you know this. Let's go to cluster. That's the only remaining jewel left. So the cluster setup is this. This is actually a bricked cluster, okay? Someone's trying to get spell damage with increased effect on it, fractured increased effect, and they didn't land it. They landed the max mana. Okay, so for me, I look at these stats and I go, wait, this is actually a pretty good cluster, especially since you're selling it for 50 elks. It's actually better than most cluster out there for me, alright? So the great thing is it gives me access to 2 sockets. The other great thing is that it gives me about 13% spell damage per node, which is a decent amount of DPS. It gives me 12 mana per node, which is a decent amount of survivability. And it gives me lightning res and dexterity. So everything I need is on on this I need. If I need to drop lightning res in time, I'll show you later why I might want to do so. This will still be useful. And then yeah, so yeah, the 2 sockets are pretty much replica reckless defense. Because I'm running purity elements, the chance to be frozen shock at night doesn't really matter, and the chance to block is really helpful. If I don't get these, I have to pretty much max out all the nodes here, and I have to like path some weird ass pathing here. I need a minimum 1, so to get if I drop 1 to get this point here and one more replica defense, it basically frees up like 6 points, I think. And then the 6 points go in here, which is damage and life. Damage and EHP, sorry. Yeah, all in all, pretty happy with the build. Why I'd want to do Ubers with this? I can probably do Uber Cortex. Maybe Uber Shaper, Uber Elder, maybe. I'm not sure. Ether might be. I think Ether's fine. I think Uber Ether's fine for this. If I want to do Uber, sure, but the T17 maps are like the problem, I think. It's where a lot of the progress is gated with T70 maps, and they drop so rarely in this mode, to be honest. They really drop super rarely. I think I found 4 T17 maps. You want to see my kills? I've killed like 550,000 monsters, and I've like dropped 4 T17 maps. I haven't sold a single one off, okay? So that means I get a T17 map per 100,000 monsters. Almost always, if you're gonna farm T17s and into Ubers, you have to like leverage off the market. So you have to buy maps from people. You can know where you can farm your own maps, alright? So SSF Ruthless is like impossible, I think, to even do Ubers. But I think trade perfectly fine. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. It's actually pretty much the end of the league for me at this point. About 30 minutes. Okay, it's pretty much the end of the league for me at this point. I may have a few ideas I want to play in Ruthless. I might play an additional character just for fun. But I'm pretty much done. Oh yeah, sorry. I got one last thing. I have some ideas of how I want to scale this differently. So that is, thank you Jiangrun. I don't think your build is bait, but I'm considering doing a Power Siphon Mana Wonder for Ruthless. I think it has a lot of promise. I think it has a lot of potential, and I want to do that. At least attempt it and try it out. For that to happen, I need a couple more pieces. I need to get rare gloves and rare boots. I actually can afford a Relic Cache, by the way, because I have an Omen of Fortune that hasn't sold. The Omen of Fortune can be turned into a Relic Cache pretty easily. The problem is I don't think the Relic Cache is the play here, because it takes up a boot slot. And it takes up you don't have movement speed from Relic Cache, and it kind of feels bad. So my take is probably we'll do a rare boots, I think, or something else. The other thing I'm considering is, instead of Power Siphon, I might want to do a Earthbreaker Totem setup. That is to go Earthbreaker Totem boots. I have one of them as well, and then get a weapon, a single-handed weapon that scales mana. Probably a sword, I think. So I want a sword with like, I think influenced, a Shaper influence for int damage, like damage per int or something like that, and then attack speed, crit chance, and then I do a enchant for 5% of mana as fire damage for that, and then I just do a Breaker Totems. Like, that's something I'm considering as well. I think that would be a good play. So it'll still be a totem setup, it'll just be a very different totem setup. Alright, all in all, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm kinda out. Peace. Bye. Well, yeah, okay, what's my next steps? Oh, other than that, I really want to get maybe up to 6 challenges here, just for fun. I think I can do it, it's not that hard. Like, down here I'm already like almost close to 10 maps. And then this is pretty easy as well, so these two, and then this is probably easy as well. It's the Reckon Rune Smithing that's generally the most expensive. Oh, this is something I'm gonna get like in like the moment I get back. I just need to put gold in. But yeah, I'll get this. So I can actually get 7. I can actually get 8 out of 8 here. It's pretty easy. And then I can get challenges done on my softcore as well. Not softcore, settlers as well. Okay, it's interesting thing I think most people don't know about is this. You can actually get 2 sets of Runebind weapon effects by doing both the Ruthless and the Settlers, the non-Ruthless version. So I got 2 of them, just like that. So I got double Runebind effects. Like if you look here, I have 2 of them. That's my weapon skin. Is it below? Yeah, see, I've got 2 Runebind weapon effects. So this is very interesting to note. Make me wanna play Ruthless every league. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, see you guys. I'm out. Bye.